Hi, I'm here to introduce you to Camp Sharon and Karen, creating new space for parents of transgender and gender nonconforming kids to explore their own uncertainty and develop new ways to demonstrate support. So I'm Zach. Hi. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm going to start with some thank yous because I'm going to forget at the end if I don't. But everyone on here deserves a lot of gratitude, especially Lou, who's over here in the cohort. She took all the pictures you're going to see, and they're incredible. So everyone, thank you for sharing your talents and caring about my project. So I'm Zach, and I'm a member of the LGBTQ+ community. These are my parents. They're here. And when I came out to my parents, they responded in just the right way. They just kind of went like this. It was awesome. The problem is that most LGBTQ+ kids do not receive such a supportive response. Half of all LGBTQ kids receive a negative response when they come out. 1 in 4 are kicked out of their homes. There are a lot of identities that fit under LGBTQ+, but for the sake of my project, I chose to focus on the needs of parents with transgender and gender nonconforming kids. They fit under here. Transgender is an umbrella term that describes people with different gender identities or gender expressions than what they were assigned at birth. The best way to remember this is that sexual orientation is about who you go to bed with. Gender identity is who you go to bed as. And 40% of transgender people attempt suicide at some point in their life, and I thought that they were the audience that really needed the most attention. So I was grateful to be able to start attending support group meetings from a group in Manhattan called the Trans Families Project. They're associated with PFLAG Manhattan. And I learned a bunch of common challenges that happen between all these parents. Some parents find themselves in unfamiliar territory and are unequipped to respond thoughtfully. Megan shared that when her son Oliver first told us, they didn't handle it very well. They didn't say the things she should have said. She didn't say, "I'm 100% behind you." Parents make the mistake of addressing their own uncertainty before their kids' explicit needs. This one mother, Judith, who I met at a support group meeting, said, "How could my child just throw away their name like that? And to call it their dead name. Their father and I worked so hard to pick a meaningful name for her." Parents struggle to internalize that even with good intentions, their actions can have a negative impact on their kids. Robert, a dad who joined my co-design group, said, "We've been heading in this direction for 18 years. We've only been here for a few days. We will fuck up sometimes. It's bound to happen." One thing was clear is that these parents just love their kids. They're not sure how to show them. At these meetings, I also was grateful to meet Liz. Liz adopted a daughter from China and raised her as a single parent on the Upper West Side. One day, her daughter came home from the mall and said, "Hey mom, I went shopping in the boys section, and I'm a boy, my name is Russell," and just walked down the hall to his bedroom. Liz, in that moment, was totally shell-shocked, but it was apparently clear that what she needed to do in that moment was only show up for Russell. She put her own needs aside in that moment and decided to handle those separately. Liz also managed to do the right thing at the right time. So I was grateful to be able to work with some of these parents from the Trans Family Project to co-design a way to help parents through these sorts of challenges. And working with these parents, we defined 3 distinct audiences that attend these support group meetings. The protective parent focuses on preventing harm for their child no matter the consequences. These kids learn that it's not okay to be who they are. The supportive parent, on the other hand, allows their child to take the lead and makes big decisions collaboratively. These parents try hard to learn how their kids want to be supported. The most interesting to me were the timid parents. Every support group meeting I attended, there were a group of parents who would sit there silently, would not make eye contact, with pained expressions on their face. And so from here, I wondered how we could address their needs. So how might we help these parents figure out how to show support on their own terms? I thought back to a time in my life when I was able to show up on my own terms, and really learn through discovery, play, and community. And that was the 8 summers I spent at overnight summer camp. That's me back then. But I thought to these parents, and how do we create a more accepting and welcoming environment? And the answer was pretty clear. We're going to send them to camp. And so with the help of these parents that I co-designed with, we started looking at the individual parent needs that we had defined and how they link to elements of summer camp. So parents need resources to reference when they reach future challenges. We're going to make some camp handbooks that they can reference in the future. Parents need opportunities to share on their own terms. Let's reformat camp meetings. Parents want space to ask questions and make mistakes without fear of judgment. Let's build a community and create a shared definition of what that trust looks like. And parents need a chance to meet trans adults who fit their model of success. Every parent during the time that I worked with this community told me that they sought an example of a transgender person who had a well-paying job, who had a community that loved them, and someone they could call their own. And so for us, we wanted to create, I brought some friends who are trans-identified to camp to be camp counselors and facilitate that kind of conversation. So without further ado, welcome to Camp Sharon and Karen. We had a really busy day together at camp. It was awesome. Upon arrival, everyone received their Camp Sharon and Karen handbook. And then once we warmed up and did some introductions, we all gathered in the Sharon circle to share our stories. Here you see Kathy and John. They were a couple who came to camp 3 months after their son came out to them as trans. And they're really modeling what camp was all about. She's sharing, he's caring. Also, like my fellow cohort members, had a superhero activity. The goal here was to create an opportunity for parents to figure out what their personal strengths were. And then we had arts and crafts. This was by far everyone's favorite part of camp. Everyone made 2 friendship bracelets, and if you can see, this is Liz, who I introduced you to before. Liz came to camp as a returning camper. She came to help facilitate this discovery process for other parents. Then we had a great activity that introduced these parents to nonviolent communication practice. And to bring energy back up, we played some Fly Swatter Jeopardy. They got really into it. I'll let you see for yourselves. Things got so serious. It was great. And then my 2 friends came to camp as counselors. This is Bex on the left and my roommate Sam on the right. They both have jobs, they both have communities, and are themselves in a relationship. And they were able to facilitate, I think, the most powerful moment of camp. And that was a conversation that left a lot of parents expressing that they felt like they were prepared moving forward. And that brought me to thinking about a commercial that played in Massachusetts every single day as a kid.
Because of camp, I turned out just fine.
But Kathy and John had a really beautiful moment towards the end of camp where they expressed that our son just told us his name last week. After being here today, I understand why he asked for our support coming out to everyone else. Camp Sharon and Karen, a new space for learning how to become who your kid needs you to be. Thank you.